And back with another League video. This time I'm doing the new Evelynn. I wanted to do a last game on the old Evelynn before she was permanently changed, but well, the ones I played were, yeah, I don't want to remember them. Well, the new Evelynn. I played her a couple of games and I can pretty concisely say she needs to be buffed before she's even vaguely useful. Her Q is effectively the same thing. Her W is a change from move speed buff to like a delayed charm if you hit them. 2.5 seconds is way too long to realistically do much of anything. If they're paying any attention at all, they'll just start walking back to their tower and laning phase, and after that, 2.5 seconds is typically the length of the team fight. It's just way too long to get anything off. The E is changed from like her single target nuke to basically just a very, very short dash and damage ability. It no longer applies on hit effects. The R is very different. It's pretty much going to be like Poppy's ult. You're never going to use it for the damage. You're only going to use it for a disengage. Now at level 3 it hurts really badly, which is going to be a problem balancing her. It's going because if she gets them under 30%, she gets bonus damage on it. It's double damage. The base at level 3 is 800 points. And that alone is more than enough to pop in any squishy at 30% health. So they need to take some of that damage off of her kit and put it into like the beginning spells, because trying to get her someone that low on her own is going to be very difficult. She's now fully AP. She's no longer any kind of hybrid scalings or any kind of on-hit builds are going to work. All the other AP assassins have some kind of a reset on kill. Evelynn does not. Now, for clearing, she actually works out fairly well. Like, if I get more comfortable with her, I'll probably start Raptors from now on. Like, on old Evelynn, that's all you did. Like, you start Raptors, hit 8 spikes, just run back and forth, just spamming Q over and over again. That's what I'm doing here. I just screw up and just take too long to kill the silly things. Now, she does have a number of band-aids on her kits to allow her to jungle. It's very obvious because she gets like a ton of bonus damage and bonus effects on monsters, and no other jungler has quite that many. It's pretty clear they wanted to release her in a weak state and then buff her later. It's just kind of irritating. Now, this game, I don't think it really would have mattered who I picked, because Jinx over here goes 21-0, and if you have a Jinx that's 21-0, it's game over. You're not going to lose at this point in time. Now, for jungling her, I've noticed a lot of times the monsters will actually clip into Evelynn's model, and then when they come out of the charm, they'll just start dithering around trying to like figure out where to move, so you can typically take them down to about half health before they're even capable of fighting back. Her passive, which was permanent stealth, has been changed to stealth at level 6. Before then she gets HP regen if she's been not taking damage. Now, if as a jungler you're not really capable of ganking anyone, I knew he was pushed up, so like, well, I'll just go up here and ward for him, because I knew since I was up here, Jax would also be up here. And of course Jax he's kind of dithering around himself. He has a really rotten game. I don't think he gets a single kill. So I ward for Jarvan's just in case Jax comes up, and boy does he. Gank foiled. So, new Evelynn, you're basically just power farming till level 6, and that's kind of one of her big problems, is if you can't do anything till level 6 and you need an AP assassin, just go with Diana. She does her job a lot better, a lot more consistently. Yeah, if people aren't paying attention, you can kill them with Evelynn, but if they're not paying attention, you can kill them with anyone, so there's no particular reason to pick her over any other assassin at this stage in the game. Old Evelynn, if you needed to pick people off but also need someone who can initiate a team fight, you could do that, you know. Run up there, throw your R out, hit a bunch of people, nuke them, back off for a second, then try to pick a straggler off. Evelynn basically has to run in from behind people. There's some degree of mind games with it. The problem is with this skill level, pretty much everyone is stupid. Like, there's a couple of times I throw out charms just to see how people react, and they don't, so I don't know if they don't notice that the thing pops up and it's a very obvious effect, or they just didn't care. I was trying to gank here, and it pretty much goes about as well as you'd imagine. I just kind of run at them and they run away. Like, oh, here I am, and they just walk away. This is pretty much how any gank would go. Like, theoretically there's a dash on the E, but it's such short range, like, it's effectively just outside of auto attack range, and the way this skill is written, you kind of assume that's what you're supposed to do. It doesn't really show terribly well here. Like, entering Demon Shader sets cooldown and make it empowered, and dashes the target. It does percentage health damage, so she's still somewhat useful if she gets behind. Problem is, like, you're going to be going after squishies, you're not going to be doing that much damage to tanks. And if you are, something's gone terribly, terribly wrong. She does, like, clear fairly well. Like, the problem with old Evelynn is she always got really low with her new passive. She doesn't get that low, but she can. The HP scales off of her ability power, and like you don't have much early on, but as the time goes on, you'll typically be getting to half or 2/3 health. This was me being really stupid. Like, I can do the Raptors one more time. No, I can't. I don't think I kite them as well as I could have. I missed the initial hate spike. Hate spike is slightly changed to this initial projectile thrown out, and that does a fair amount of damage. After that, all the hate spikes will just auto-track to the target. I almost got killed by raptors. That would be the first time I've ever been executed by a jungle minion, but I made it out. Well, I get executed by Rift Herald in like a later game I was going for it. Like, Tryndamere didn't quite seem to understand I needed his help doing it, and he didn't want to be bothered. After I die, then he goes over and tries it. Like, thanks. So, Evelynn, straight AP, no more any kind of hybrid scalings. She still needs a significant buff. Like, if anything, they should probably just take the time down on the activation of the charm. Early on, it's fine for it to be 2.5 seconds, because if you just walk in the lane, they don't have a lot of time to react. Otherwise, as the time goes on, it's not necessary, because if somebody's out on their own, well, that's their fault. We had a big fight in bot lane. Everyone got out. Fortunately, we picked our Caitlyn off, and Caitlyn just didn't have a very good game the whole time through. There's not much going on, so time to speed up. I come up here and cover briefly. I was trying to get something off on Anivia. Didn't happen. That was pretty much how a lot of these games go, is like, there's just nothing here, I can't do anything, so I wander around and power farm some more. It does catch a couple of them off guard, because you've never actually fought Evelynn, so she's had a couple of items. She's going to hurt badly. Jax is also running around trying to do pretty much what I'm doing and getting nothing out of it. He has 9 CS, I have 30. And I've just been taking jungle camps, so I'm clearing faster than he is somehow. I was coming up here purely to see if I could help. Jax had backed off completely. There's a ward there. J4 is not going to go too far. And here I am, level 6. That is what the effect looks like. She goes really quickly, unfortunately. I do wish they'd kind of change some of the animations, because as she's running towards someone, she gets this effect that makes her look like she's going faster, and she's not. See, I charmed him, tried to hit him, see if he would do anything. He just kind of backs out. I don't know if he realized he had been charmed or what, but clear up the wave so he goes back to resetting. And I'm forced again with absolutely nothing to do. Top is going back, mid is going back, and I'm too far away to gank bot. Though I'm headed in that direction, everyone else is headed there as well. I just kind of push mid because, like, well, there's nothing else to do. Then run straight down. That is the mark that tells them that they are below 30% health. If you see that and you ult them, they will probably die, but not a guarantee. And ulted. The direction range is roughly the range of the ult, so probably she had just enough time to realize I was there before. Oh, dead. Always go for dragon when you can. Unfortunately, they kind of left me to die here. I don't die immediately, but it's one of those very frustrating things where your teammates don't quite seem to understand that objectives matter. One of Evelynn's quotes for the dragon is, "Oh, look, a majestic creature, let's kill it slowly." I have a feeling they took that a little bit too literally. I do die here if Leona gets me. And her ult comes out. Bye. At least I got the dragon. I did literally nothing else but just get objectives the whole game. At least I starved out Jax. I wasn't useful for anything else, so 4 dragons throughout the game and a Baron. Jax had no dragons. And always the old big bot lane fight. This one takes so long I actually come back, respawn and come in and start killing people. the enemy team never quite seemed to realize their positioning against Echo is you really can't just walk into his shadow, he's going to blow you up. And ulted in his face. He tried. Here I am. Charmed. And dead. Always assert your dominance over the other jungler just for spite. That was the dash. It's, again, one of those things that just doesn't seem to work consistently. It's either you're a pixel out of range. Like, they really need to improve the dash range. It doesn't need to be gigantic, just a little bit more would make her a lot more consistent. It's supposed to be when you're chasing people, but the range is so little, like, you're never realistically going to get it off as like a Warwick Q where you'll just follow them through their jump. And here's what I was talking about, where they get caught in the model. Is, this one wasn't as bad, but like later on the blue buff just kind of spazzes out for like 3 or 4 seconds. Tryndamere is trying things. I don't know why he just left top, because like Tryndamere does not team fight at all. He's gets hit with any kind of CC and just dies. This I was expecting her to not have her egg. I saw that pop up. It's like, oh, she just died. That must have just come up. So we popped her passive and both died for it. That sucks. J4 probably should have just stayed top and take the tower, as is they just kind of get this anyway, and he doesn't EQ over the wall that Anivia stuffs up in about a moment. He EQ'd over it and ulted. Did he have it up? I don't think he had his up. And he probably wouldn't have done much anyway, but he could have potentially taken the top tower as an answer. Instead, we just lose that for nothing. They get tower first blood, oh well. That is probably the only good news they have throughout this game. This was also kind of silly of them pushing up to this degree, especially against an Evelynn when you're not buying vision wards. Like, you're throwing out a regular ward here, it's a little late now. Leona a couple of times puts herself in a really bad position and gets herself caught, and Jinx kill. You do not want to feign Jinx kills early in the game. It goes bad. Now we're definitely in a dominant position throughout this, and eventually it gets to the point where it's not. Dead. That fight will be coming up soon where Jinx gets a triple. They all kind of fight, and J4 jumps them and I jump them, and that's that. Fight here. The ultimate will drag you back and give you invulnerability. It's useful mostly as a repositioning tool, and that's pretty much what I've used it as. Like, I'll go in, hit a couple of abilities, press R to get out, and they throw abilities that they don't hit me or just misaimed. I was looking for him. I thought he backed off further this way. I didn't realize he was going to recall right in the open here, because I ended up walking so close and I just don't see him. I could have killed him if I'd walked this way, but didn't. I got Scuttle Crab. Neon is roaming, leaving Caitlyn to just kind of farm solo. And I, of course, just go back to power farming, 'cause that's pretty much what I spend this game doing. Like, well, I can't make anything happen, it's time to kill everything. Echo's rolling. And Jax. I should have counter-jungled Jax a bit harder, but this was literally my first game on New Evelynn, so I wasn't quite sure what I could get away with. And getting a bit more used to her, I think I can get away with it a lot more so now. Like, invading probably would work out a lot more than most junglers, because you can throw out the charm, and if they don't quite know where you're at, they can end up running into you. Especially other junglers that are also kind of weak early on. Once she hits level 6 with that execute of her, she should be able to kill just about anybody real quickly. Except for like tank junglers. Again, throwing out the charm to see what he does, and he just doesn't really seem to react much. This is the fight I was talking about where they just get destroyed. They don't know I'm here because they haven't bought any single vision ward, so... Poking going off. Janna goes forward, and they dive on her. I'm sitting here hitting everyone. I'm there. Just standing in the middle of all the AoEs. Trinda's dead. I don't think I got a single kill out of that, but Jinx got a triple. So, 3 for 1, we lose our support. Oh well. Anivia is in a bad spot. Almost killed Jinx, but didn't. Dead bird. KFC. I again go straight for the dragon, hoping that someone understands they need to come over and help this with me. I don't have my smite, I used it in the previous fight. Sitting there pinging for help, please come over here, I'm dying. They do actually come over here, so that's our second dragon. If you can't be useful to your team killing people, just secure objectives as a jungler. That's primarily your job. So they lose a team fight and a dragon. Unfortunately, our waves weren't pushing hard enough, otherwise we could have taken some towers, but oh well. The dragon is, you know, a good enough reward on its own. And they just kind of go back to the spot they lost in. I'm not entirely sure why. Like, there's nothing on this map to get. They could have attempted to Baron rush, but don't. Tryndamere was at this point in time screaming at his team in all chat how they're all losers and noobs, which is something you want to do when your team is losing, is to insult them. That will make them want to win more. We lose the turret. I didn't even bother defending it because, like, there was 3 of them there. It's not going to happen. I was thinking about getting Caitlyn in the back. It's like, there's too many people there. This is the, what I was mentioning about repositioning. I died for it, unfortunately, but Jinx Rocket gets the kill. So I baited out Jax's stun, and he didn't get it off on me, and he just dies to Janna here. I have no idea why Janna walked that way, and then back in, flashed back in. She just landed on a trap and died. Like, okay. If she'd gone that way, she could have survived, or at least drug them off the tower, so they wouldn't have gotten it. In the end, they give up, you know, inhibitor turret for an outer turret. Not really worthwhile. So all the outer ones are gone, except tops. J4 slacking. And I'm just back down here to try and farm this wave. This is also another problem with Evelynn, is once her abilities are on cooldown, she does nothing. Like, I'm just sit there pathetically autoing everything. Can't do anything. There's another wave later on that's even bigger than this, and it just takes forever for me to clear, because once her abilities are gone, she has nothing. Like, at least with old Evelynn, like, you could buy AD, you could buy, you know, on-hit effects to clear waves quicker or do something. Echo trying the Great Escape, does not get out. I don't know why he stopped to auto the thing. If he kept going down, he might have been able to get away, but... dead. He tried. I don't know if J4 wanted this on his own, or he was just trying to take it, but... or give it... help me leash, but... if you're trying to help an Evelynn fight the camps, just wait for her to pop her charm, otherwise it's not really a big help. Yes, and the Tryndamere being salty. I was trying to give the blue to Echo, and I don't think he really wanted it that badly. I was trying at this point just to give buffs to the people who would maximally use them. Leona, again, out on her own. Pop the charm. And she's very dead. Leona caught on her own. Sometimes you do need to be somewhat aggressive as a tank. Not that aggressive. Again, pinging the blue, trying to get Echo to come up here and take his blue. I don't know why so many people are so resistant to it. Like, what, don't you want blue? Don't you want to spam abilities more? I never get offered a blue. It's like, it's probably why I make so much of an effort to give it to my mid laner, especially if they're doing well. Now he has blue. And he goes back, of course. Jinx being exceptionally brave, fortunately getting out, leaving Janna to her death. Typical ADC. And this is like my problem with E. That wasn't long enough to actually get onto him. Like, the buff where it's empowered lasts after you break stealth is just till the next cast, but Again, it's very clear that you're supposed to cast it in stealth and not after it's been broken. Their team badly out of position. Caitlyn going bot lane, Jax going back, not trying to defend mid. And this is the point in time I'm starting to counter and jungling because I have nothing else to do. I don't think he cleared these in a while because they just kind of instantly disintegrated when I went after them. His red was especially the same way. Everybody breaking up into small little groups, pushing here, there, and everywhere. Jinx is 8-0 at this point in time, and their Caitlyn is 2-3. Tryndamere going real hard and dying. Dead trend. Lose Janna again. This is not the best fight for them. I didn't think I was needed over here, that's why I'm pushing top, because they're going to win that fight, why bother? And I can't run over there quickly enough to help if I was needed, so... Jinx gets double kill. Yay, that's what you want to see as the enemy team. They lose their last outers now. I was doing this purely to try and attract attention away from them. With this wave this big coming into their inhibitor tower, they can't just ignore it. It's going to do a lot of damage on its own. Especially with the siege there. Tryndamere does respond, so like all that goes straight to his pockets anyway, but he gets, I think, probably 90% of the wave or more. We still get some damage onto it, so it's not bad. I'm going back to spend all my money from split pushing and tower taking. I probably should have taken the dragon here because none of them were on the bot side of the map. I just wasn't aware of it at the time. Everybody getting caught, just getting too slow to coming back. Fortunately, everyone gets out. He didn't need to flash, so he should have just kept walking. And I have more money. Incidentally, yes, I did buy the Luden's Echo. Luden's Echo and Runic Echoes do not stack. I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I'm so used to the jungle item being a Spellblade effect, even though it hasn't been a Spellblade effect in like a year or more. I'm in a good flanking position here, finally. Caitlyn is on her own. Charm. She sees me now. That's a really long time to, have that charm to go off and start doing real damage to her. I probably didn't need to, but you really can't take much in the way of damage back. Charmed and dead. Any other assassin would have killed her just faster, so it's kind of hard to justify picking Evelynn, at least until they buff her up. I'm just going after the dragon at this point in time. That'll be one of them, one for all three. They don't need me here. They can take an inhibitor just free, so me pushing with them won't help. Me getting this dragon will help a lot more. Now with items, I can actually do this without needing the entire team to come by and help. There's ways of doing it where you don't take any damage. I've never actually managed to do it, so... Blue dragon. Now I regenerate health and mana out of combat. Their Jax is 0-7 with 47 farm. I have 128 farm. Admittedly, a lot of this is minions, but this is the wave I was talking about. Like, it's just so slow clearing with Evelynn once your abilities are down. Like, just sitting there auto-attacking things. Like, this obviously wasn't going to record my keyboard at the time. It was basically just me spamming everything, trying to hurry up and go faster. Like, Akali and Katarina can clear quicker. This was me purely trying to get this pushing into their direction so they'd have to send someone to respond to it. Tryndamere not paying attention. Jinx walking straight by. Leona with vision of Jinx walking straight by, and he just recalls, yeah, he definitely had the shop up and wasn't paying attention. And I don't think they were trying to make it look like they were setting up for Baron, but doing stuff like that is a good way to convince them that you are. And if they were going to try and contest it, Caitlyn is bot. They're now screaming like, you know, Baron's in danger, we gotta go do something. Jack's level 12 and I am level 14. So the joys of power farming, I'm beating him in that at least. And he bought a Cinderhulk for reasons. This is the point where I start being quite as useful. I get stunned by something, probably an Evia's snowball, tried to ult back out and just died. Fortunately, Jinx is super fed, so it's like, yeah, it's game over. 15-0 now, that's what you want to see on an enemy hyper carry. More fried chicken. So I did something vaguely useful. I did damage a couple of people before I got stunned. And Nivea is like a bane of my existence. Every time I think her snowball's down, I run up to hit her. Snowball to the face. Lovely. Now I'm dead. So, Jinx being ultra dumb there. She could quite easily have died had Caitlyn stood a little bit farther back and not gotten knocked away by Janna's Monsoon. Everyone backing out and just taking everything left and right. Super minions pushing in, and their Caitlyn is somewhat behind, but not disastrously so. Our Jinx has 3 items, she has 2.5, so not that big a difference, but Jinx still hurts real bad. She also needs to not run off on her own. I hate it when AD carries do this. They get caught by anything and they die. At least I'll have a death stance or something where they can survive a burst a little bit better. Me just clearing everything because I've like literally nothing to do. Had they known where I was at, they might have attempted Baron, but I've noticed a lot of people don't like going for it, even if it's pretty obviously free. It's like all 5 of them are sitting here, 1 person bot, I'm missing, 1 person recalled, Echo sitting here not doing much of anything. If they'd rushed it, they could have taken it fairly easily because none of us are in a position to do anything. I started running up that direction purely for that. Then I see 3 of them top, like, well, they're not going for it. And all of them just kind of back off. I think they might have been worried about where I was at because they don't have any vision wards, and, like, you know, you see a ward, regular ward thrown over here, like, well, it's not very useful against an Evelynn. Jax charges up his stun, and I just ult back out. He wastes it, team fight breaks out, and he has no crowd control. I dash in and just start destroying everyone with AoE. Tryndamere dies, blows his GA, Caitlyn is bot, and Nivea is getting the hell out of there. Oh look, all 5 of us are here. I know to take Baron. 3 of them are down, including their jungler. Caitlyn is nowhere in position, and Nivea can't contest. Goodbye, Baron. More objectives, because I wasn't doing anything else this game. If it does seem like I'm whining, this is probably like the best Evelynn game I've had. I played another one where I was like 2-5, and like there was our team had like 40 some kills, and I was in kill participation of like 10. It was even worse. Like our team just destroyed theirs. Like it was over in 5 minutes. Draven, Jhin rolling, yeah, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that. This was me pinging buffs, trying to get them to the people who need them most. Echo gets blue, Jinx gets red. He takes red. I don't know why. He must have thought I typed Echo and not Jinx. Jinx doesn't go for it anyway, so it's like, She has Baron buff. I guess it's not the end of the world. This is me stopping to type. Jinx would do a lot better with red buff than I would at this point in time because I will die just about instantly going in for it. I knew Dragon was going to be up shortly, so I wanted vision on the general area. Everyone's gone back to just pushing in 4 different directions. Top's pushing in, but I can push this faster, especially with Baron buff minions. Caitlyn's going back because she knows what I'm about to do. These 2 go real hard for it. I'm pretty sure they take it, but not before taking like a ton of damage from J4. Yeah, they got it. Tryndamere ended up pushing his ult way too quickly and just dies for it. Me stealing everything. Their red buff died in like nothing flat, so Jax hadn't taken it in quite some time. Echo got the next water dragon because I was just not in the area, and neither were they. I should have gone after that one a lot more strongly than what I did, but, well, died anyway. This is my last and final death. Thank you, Anivia. I thought she threw her snowball here, so hey. Do much for damage, snowball to the face, and I die. I was mashing R and I couldn't get out of there quick enough. It wouldn't have killed her. You're not killing anyone if they're over 30% on the ults, but it still will do most of her health and damage. Potentially a Jinx rocket picks her off. But they've lost their inhibitor again. And I lose Baron buff. Everyone just resetting at this point in time. They were rotating bot to push in the last tower. J4, I'm not sure what he was thinking most of this game. He tended to just kind of wander off on his own. 5-0, I was like, it's not bad. It's just not really doing much of anything other than farming. He's got money at least. These two way out of position, considering these guys were pushing up. Now, you know, Leona's trying to defend an inhibitor, and it's not working. I think they've just pretty much given up because Trindler was still screaming at how his terrible team was, which is the great way of getting them to want to throw the game just to spite you. I run to mid just to farm because, like, my jungle's effectively cleared. There's no point in me sticking around there. I'm level 16, 2 Jax is 13. I was at this point in time just kind of running around aimlessly. It's like, there's nothing for me to clear. There's not much for me to really do beyond that. This is also kind of why they don't help Evelynn, because he has to wait a second to get the charm off to do a whole lot of damage to them, and if they start running away, it's not very helpful. They're trying to counter push things, and I was at this point in time moving top because, like, it's the last inhibitor to take. There's nothing else to do. They're also very split up. These two come in. Leona's kind of off on her own and cut off completely now. Not very wise of Jinx to just walk up like that. Their tank is dead now. Bye bye. Charm Tryndamere. Most of his health gone in just about instantly. And ADC's doing all of your health in 2 shots. Fun. Fortunately, the new passive kicks in and I can regen most of that. Or at least a lot of that. More fried chicken. This is probably like the best move I do in the whole game. Kill Jax. And I'm by Caitlyn. Yay. I don't get her. She flashes and heals and everything, but hey. Yay, I used the ult semi-effectively. At least I got an assist. So this is effectively a game, as you can kind of tell by the little scoreboard on the bottom. 2 towers about to fall. Jinx on a tower, bye-bye tower. Tryndamere going in for the fight, and, well, couldn't hit his ult quickly enough, or probably didn't have it. I'm just kind of running around trying to do something at this point in time, like, let's just take towers, backdoor them if we have to. I don't manage to hit her before the charm gets off, and game over before I die. Yay! So that's the new Evelynn. I wish I could say she's useful now, but, like, if she gets some buffs, she'll be in a better position, but as is, yeah, it'd be real rough. If you win, it's not going to be because of you. So, hope you enjoyed this little video. So, until next time, bye.